to get lipo on my chin. Got my earrings.
Are we live? Can you pass me my phone, baby? You can't even move.
That's why I don't like this shirt. Because I can't, like...
How are you going to be able to hold the mic?
Yeah, as long as I'm not, like, doing, like this, look.
Like major movements?
Yeah. Are we live?
Let's see. We should be.
How come you can't see the... like, the light?
There we go. Oh, sorry. I forgot to click on it.
Oh, there we are. Hello. Hi, guys. Janetsi. Anita, you look beautiful. Thank you. Man, you guys are all so sweet. All the girls are so sweet. Thank you, guys. How are you? Jose's like, what about me?
Where are my guys at?
No, guys. It's 90... What? We have like a 99% women, female?
No. Maybe like 80.
No, babe. The majority is women. It's like 99%. Hi, Gabby. These are my favorite me time listening to you guys.
Let's
Yay.
go.
I
All right,
love
so
that.
today we're going to be touching on a... Oh, you want to do the intro?
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode 5 of Breakthrough Conversations.
Let's go. We're 5 episodes in.
That is crazy. They're going by quick.
Yeah,
for
literally.
Sure. Hi, guys. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Janet. Outfit is bomb, Anita. Thank you so much.
Facts. So today we're going to be talking about a subject that I feel like it's super important. I think a lot of the people that follow us actually own businesses, or, you know, they're in the process of getting into one. So we're going to be deep diving into like the marketing aspect of it, because I feel like that's, you know, business's biggest weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty hyped. How are you feeling, babe?
Yeah, I'm excited, especially because I've been a business entrepreneur for about 10 years now. So I'm excited. Obviously, this is probably my second year really taking it serious and actually seeing, because I was a makeup artist for 7 years. But I never took it serious. It was just kind of like a little side hustle. It was just to make like a couple $100 just to...
On the side.
Mm-hmm,
And I feel like that's where most people start, right? And I actually think that's a very good like starting point, right? Because I think for the most part, us as like Hispanic or Latinos, we start businesses just to like make a couple $100, you know?
Yeah, that
We're
was
always
literally
like,
me.
you know, oh, ¿quién te va a regalar esos $100? O ¿quién te va a regalar esos $200, right? But they're putting in a lot of effort and time into getting those $200 or $100, right? So I think it's also very important to understand that it's, and I get it, right? Because I think when you've never really started like a business, you just think that, you know, anything that brings you money, then that should be more than enough, right? And obviously we're very grateful people. And so because of that, I think that's why we have that mindset of like, you know, let's just start a business and, you know, make a couple $100 just to pay for this bill or pay for that bill or whatever, right? But in reality, if you're somebody that really wants to take it serious and really just kind of change your life through business, which is what has happened with me and Anita, you know, a lot of you guys know us because of like social media and YouTube, but in reality, we built our, you know, success through our businesses independently, right? So we'll deep dive into that, you know, how to find a good niche, what's a good industry to get into, service-based businesses, how you can turn, you know, low profit businesses into bigger profit businesses by adding it as a, you know, service or an experience, and then also deep diving into like marketing. I think that's going to be one that you guys are really going to enjoy, because I think that's where a lot of people struggle with. They struggle with creating content and knowing what to say and, you know, doing this and that. And I've had the, you know, the blessing of being able to work with people who are doing millions of dollars a year, even in months, seeing what strategies they're doing, you know, obviously working hand in hand with them, learning what they got going on and incorporating with my marketing strategies too as well, along with building myself. You know, I've helped Anita build her business from scratch to as well. So I'm excited to share a game. I think this will probably be more like an interview. How do you feel like if we do this more like an interview?
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
Right.
And guys, this is honestly like this is free game because Jose charges to do. He charges to do, you know, like all this stuff like marketing, starting up a business, like all of that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's free game, and we're giving it to you guys just because you guys have been followers and you guys support us, and it means a lot to us. So this is a way of giving back.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a service that Jose does charge, so you guys are getting
Yeah,
it all
so-
for free. Okay, so if you have your husband, cousin, your tia, your mom, whoever it is that wants to start a business, you might want to show them this video.
Yeah, actually, send out this video. Send out this video to your boyfriend, your husband, your cousin, your tia, or anybody that has a business that wants to learn how to scale it and make more money. Yeah, or wants to start it. Send them this video. Go ahead and turn on the AC because it's about to start getting hot here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. People do charge to give these kind of advice. Yep. How are Mila and Aiden? Mila and Aiden are amazing. They're actually with my mom, so they're, you know, playing in the trampoline, running around. They're just having fun with their cousins and stuff.
Yeah. Cousin time.
Are you guys ready for the holidays? Yes, you guys. My favorite holiday is Christmas, and I think that's our favorite.
The most
holiday.
expensive.
It
The
is
most expensive holiday.
That is the most expensive holiday, but that's literally one of our favorites. Halloween, I'm not a really like a big fan of it, but Christmas for sure. I'm excited for that one in the cold winters. But yeah, let's get started.
Begin.
The questions begin.
Yeah.
So am I
actually,
interviewing you or you're interviewing me? Oh, I'm not even prepared.
You know me more than anybody, so it'll be easy. So I'll kind of give you guys before we get into that, like I'll probably give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Because like I said, I feel like for the most part, people know us because of YouTube or like, you know, social media. But so I've been running a marketing company or media company for the last 5 years actually. And, you know, I've been able to experience from working with real estate agents, real estate professionals in general, you know, obviously influencers, celebrities, and then now high ticket coaches, which is people who have like courses and masterminds and teach people. They have an education-based business, right? A lot of times people think that because somebody charges for information means that they're gatekeeping. It's like, no, like it's a business. That's how, the same way you would run a business at the swap meet is the same way that they run a business off of education, right? Same thing with school. School is a business. You get charged to go to college. You get charged to this and that, and you're in debt for hundreds of thousands, right? They just do it where it's lower ticket, lower margin. Lower ticket, lower cost. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with some of the best in the game. You know, like I said, some of my clients are doing millions a month, hundreds of thousands a month, millions a year. And I know that sounds pretty kind of like, how would you say, like kind of hard to like fathom, I guess, if you will, because Anita and I were having this conversation the other day, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, man, like I remember, you know, even just making 10,000 a month. I remember that was like the goal, right? To make 10,000, and then you realize that there's all these people making hundreds of thousands, even millions a month, even millions in an hour by, you know, obviously over time, right? Because of the strategies and the information that they have. So I want to kind of share that onto you guys and just kind of, you know, be able to dump what I have in my brain over to you guys. And I think Anita's probably the perfect example or the perfect person to be able to kind of bring that out of me, because she's the one that has seen me gone through it all, the ups, the downs, the people that I work with, and just everything. So yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah, that's crazy. So how, okay, let's see. First question, I would say, and you guys, I'm sorry, he caught me off guard. I did not know I was going to interview him. So
yeah, we're just winging it.
So I didn't even come prepared to ask these questions, but I would say, and also too, feel free to comment, because, you know, if you guys want to know more about something, he's here. So take advantage, pick his brain, leave those comments down below. He'll answer. But let's see. Wow. Hard.
Somebody said, how do you keep yourself disciplined to have a schedule when you are your own business owner? I feel like I would get so distracted with the ability to pick my schedule. Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because I think,
a really good question.
You know, that's a conversation that I always have with Anita, right? And I think for the most part, when people are like, oh, I'm gonna have the freedom to create my own schedule and this and that, like, you still have to run a business and you still have to treat it as such. Like, treat it as if it was a job, right? If you go to a job, let's say you're going to a 9 to 5, well, you know that between 9 and 5, you can't do anything other than be focused on that business, right? And most of the times people are like, oh, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I'm like, if you had a job, they wouldn't let you do it and you wouldn't have a problem with not doing those things, right? So treat it as such, right? If you're committing to growing your business and being all in, and implementing new systems, new strategies, understanding marketing, understanding how to create content, creating content to bring in more clients over to your business, you have to be committed to it. There's nothing like it. Like Anita will tell you, like, there's days where I'll go to sleep super late at nighttime and wake up the next day to do it all over again, right? Because I'm committed to my growth. And also too, I work with a lot of high level entrepreneurs, so it's like there's a high level of expectation too as well, with charging higher prices. So that's going to be the biggest thing, is to build the discipline enough to understand that even though you have the freedom to do whatever you want, at the end of the day, the only person that suffers is going to be you and your business if you don't do the things that you need to do during a specific time, right? So be disciplined enough to understand that if I'm committing this time to this time, go ahead and do that. And even your mom is calling you, telling you she needs to go to the store or whatever, be like, Mom, I got to do this or I got to do that. If a friend is calling you to go and have lunch, I'm sorry, I can't. I got to run my business. I got to do this, because if not, you're going to get comfortable with playing the role of thinking you're in business to where you really just have a hobby that makes you a couple bucks. And that's that's all it will ever be if you treat it as such.
That was good. That was really good, babe. Okay, let's ask so what advice would you give someone that has a business in mind but they don't know where to start?
That's a really good one.
Because that's, I think a lot of people kind of are fearful, or don't even know, like, oh my God, how do I even start? How do I get past this barrier,
Yeah, so I'll tell you kind of how I did it, and then I'll tell you guys kind of how I would do it now, right? When I first did it, I just said, you need an LLC? Cool. I'll go on LegalZoom, get an LLC, get it started, right? And that's how it was. I was just trial and error. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I got to do that. And I'll just figure it out as I go, right? And I might not be doing the best thing right now, but I'll go on YouTube and figure it out, and see what strategies I learn, or what's good when it comes to promoting my business. So that's kind of how I started it, right? But it took me about, I would say even 2-3 years to really understand how to really run an efficient business. And even now, I'm always trying to make it better, right? But so that's kind of how I went about it. I don't suggest you go that route, because the biggest thing that we can never get back is time. We can always make more money, but we can never get more time, right? And so what I would suggest now, if you are thinking of starting a business, whether it's, running a media business like myself, whether it's, doing a Shopify store, which is like a store online where you can sell clothes or, products, or you're somebody that wants to get into the education space where you want to teach people how to do maybe a specific skill set that you have, is pay a mentor, pay somebody that can teach you the ropes so that you can do it within the first year and you do it right. Because I made so many mistakes by trial and error that I look back now and I'm like, damn, I would have been a lot more ahead if I would have just known to put up my money so that I can, not take up as long and not take up that much time, right? And I'm not gonna, say this isn't the hard part to put up the money, because I remember when I first started, and if all I had was $1,000, I was holding on to that $1,000 for life, right? But and the reality is, once you learn a skill set, that skill set is gonna pay you forever. For example, I pay mentorship $6,500, $8,000, $10,000. Even though that might be an expensive upfront cost, I know that by me now paying for that $10,000 skill set, I can now use that as a resource and as a tool so that I can go and keep charging $10,000, $15,000 per month. And that's how you got to just shift your perspective, right? Whenever you're investing into a mentor or an education, you're seeing it as you're acquiring a skill set similar to what, obviously a doctor is completely different, right? Because you're doing
Right.
surgery on people, but it's the exact same skill set as, you know, a teacher, exact same skill set as a car mechanic, exact same skill set as a plumber, exact same skill set as whatever, you know, fill in the blank. It's the exact same thing with you. You invest, you acquire that skill set, you can now monetize that skill set and go and charge other people based on what you just learned. And that also gives you the confidence to be able to say, well, now that I know exactly how to do it, I feel confident enough within myself charging people X amount of money because I know I'm going to get them the results. Or I'm going to
Absolutely.
be able to get them what they desire, right? So that's the number one way that I would do it. If you have $1,000, give up that $1,000 and I promise you, you're going to make a lot more
10
money
times
because of that
fold.
investment. I
Yep.
promise you that. That's something that I think us as Hispanics, we got to learn. And not just Hispanics, you know, I think we're really behind when it comes to understanding that there are people out there that are already doing what we want to do, and we can achieve that in a shorter amount of time if we just take the initiative and have the
To
confidence within
invest.
ourselves to invest into our education. Same way that you
That's
would
huge.
going to a college, to a university, you can do the exact same thing non-traditionally, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's kind of where I'm at. You know, obviously I started my business a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. And for me, investing into myself, I never really saw it until just recently. Just like 2 weeks ago, I took I paid like a mentorship, was it a mentorship? You know, so and I was kind of skeptical because I was like, man, like, do I really want to pay that much money? You know, do I just keep it and figure it out
Yeah.
myself? You know, because we do tend to want to hold on to the money because you're just like, man, that's, I don't want to let go of that money.
Yeah.
But now, fast forward, I'm like so grateful I did it because, like he said, it built that confidence in me. And not only that, but as soon as I did, I was like, girl, I'm charging more.
Yeah,
I'm upping my
100%.
prices because I did feel a lot more confident. Paying her, what she taught me in a day, it would have taken me months, to be honest, months to be able to get to where she got
Because you
me.
didn't know you were making certain mistakes or certain adjustments, like little
Exactly.
minor tweaks that just change everything, you know?
Exactly. And a lot of people think, oh, she's already good, but there's always room for growth. And I feel like no matter what, you always learn something different, a little tip, a little trick that just can shift your whole business,
100%.
So it's really important that you do invest in yourselves. Like I always say, like investing in yourself, whether it's, in the
And your
business
health.
aspect, your health, your personal development, it's huge
Yeah.
because it will benefit you. And no, don't ever hesitate.
100%. And like I said, like one of the things I always say that I was telling you is like whenever you invest into like a mentorship, you're buying a skill set and you're buying time, right? People say like, oh, there's no shortcut to success. There really is. If you pay somebody that has already 3 years more experience than you, even a year more experience than you, that can save you that year of headaches,
Absolutely.
challenges, and situations, right? Because there's so many factors when it comes to business. There's like, how do you incorporate, operating procedures? Like, does your team know that when this happens, they go to this thing so that it tells them exactly what they need to do without having to reach out to you? Like if I could have paid somebody before when I first started out, like building a team and knowing like, okay, what's going to be more efficient? How do I systemize it? How many calls do I have a month with my team? Or how often do I talk to them so that we make sure that things are running smoothly? Who do I hire? Do I hire a videographer first or do I hire an assistant? Now looking back, now that I have an assistant, I wish I would have hired an assistant first before I hired a content creator to within my team, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, but again, like I said, you always got to be mindful of you're investing into yourself, and there's nothing more valuable than you having awareness and knowledge that you can monetize in so many different ways, right?
Okay, somebody asked, what are 3 questions you would ask yourself before you started your business?
Okay, so that's a really good question. One would be, would I be willing to do this even if I wasn't making money from it? Number two would be, is this a career path that is going to give me that, financial stability that I want? And then number three, I would say, is this something that fulfills me, right? And can impact a lot of people. because if it can't impact a lot of people, that means that there's not a lot of money to be made. If your business is not highly profitable, then why are you gonna even get into a business? You're just adding an expensive hobby and a stressful hobby into your life. And then what was the thing that said number
The
one?
first one you said it was
Something that I would oh yeah,
you would do
something
it
that I would
without.
do without getting paid. The reason why I say that is because there's gonna be so many moments where you're gonna want to feel like,
You wanna
why am I
quit.
even doing this? Like I'm not. There's moments too when you're not making a lot of money from it, and you're like, why am I doing this, right? Or like, but that's where that love for it comes. Like Anita will tell you, like whenever she speaks to me and I learn something new or something, I'll I'll obsess about it, right? Like I'll talk
Found
about it.
his
I
passion.
deep dive into it, even if I wasn't making money from it. Like if money wasn't the problem, and my family was taken care of and everything, I would do this without a blink of an eye. Like this is something that I genuinely love. I'm addicted to learning more about marketing, learning more about content creation, learning more about business. Like it genuinely fulfills me, like this feeling
It
inside of
gives
me
you
that it just, yeah, it
energies.
really just
Yeah,
gives
you
me
have to
energy.
chase energy over motivation because motivation will eventually
Die out.
die out. Energies is what's going to keep you going, whether you're making money or not, and
Yeah.
that's what you ultimately want to pursue. Because motivation, there's days that you're going to feel like doing it, and there's days that you're not.
Yeah,
But
and I think being passionate over something you do, it means a lot of different things, right? Because passion doesn't mean just passion for the business. It can also be passion for the results that that business gets you, whether it's
yes.
money, whether it's a lifestyle, whether it's cars, whether it's whatever. As if that business, even though it's stressful, but it's giving you that result that you want, then that's a passion within itself too as
And
well.
for me, I think when I started my brow business, keep in mind, right? I had no idea what microblading was. I've always been very artistic, and I literally just signed up to that course because I wanted a way to express myself, a way to kind of like just create something, right? And so I went into it, and I remember when I was doing makeup, people would always tell me like, "Oh, you do my brows so good," and this, and I was like, "Man, so I'm just gonna go and jump in and try to see what I can practice on people, like making their brows better." But never did I once think about how much it cost. I never looked into it, to be honest. Like I just went in there and I was like, let me just go try it and do it on people. And then, as soon as I started my course, the first day our teacher went over like, oh, this is how much you can start making, and this is how much you can make once you've started,
Experience.
you're a lot more experienced. And then she broke down our cost for our supplies, and I was like, oh snap, like I had no idea that it was this expensive, because my mindset with makeup was like, at the time I was charging like $50 for makeup, so I thought, this is gonna be like $100 to tattoo brows or something. But it wasn't the money that drove me to it. It was just kind of like impacting people, something that I was passionate about, you know what I mean? And that ultimately, like he said, I obviously have my hard times. There's days where I'm like, man, like I'm, so tired. Sometimes I feel like I didn't do good enough. Sometimes I feel like maybe my clients hated their brows, and I have my moments where I'm like, man, should I even be doing this? But again, like I'll sometimes stay up. When I first started my business, I was up at like 4 a.m. watching videos. But and it was just a passion. Like till this day, I love it. I love it. I'm not so good about the marketing side, but I'm learning from him,
Yeah.
So it's really important, you guys, you just jump into impacting, like he was saying, impacting people's lives.
100%.
Wow,
This guy
babe.
said, what is a decent price to do marketing for a restaurant, creating content and managing social media and running ads? It depends on the restaurant. If it's a high-end restaurant, obviously you can charge a little bit more. But for the most part, I would range it just for the depend. It varies, right? Because it depends on the amount of content that you're going to be putting out. If you're going to do more photos or more videos, or if you're going to obviously doing the management, which is going to be the posting, the scheduling, etc. Plus the ads, it's obviously an additional, let's say a minimum $1,000 just for the management aspect of it. But I'll kind of give you like a simple breakdown of a package before I started charging what I do now. It will be 5,000 a month, and that 5,000 a month includes 30 pieces of content, whether it's photo or video, plus the management, which is posting and scheduling and all that. So that's a foundation that I would say. But obviously, again, like I said, it depends on the restaurant. If the restaurant is a mom and pop shop, like that's going to be very hard for you to do that unless you're already bringing them results. But for like a higher end restaurant, that would definitely be something. And I'm not talking about, high production based videos. It's just short form videos that highlight specific food or highlight the chef or highlight specific people. I would kind of gauge it around there, depending on your experience too as well. You can kind of, shift from there. But for me personally, the reason why I love working with like entrepreneurs and high ticket coaches is because whenever I make content for them, they're going to make their money back. And if I'm able to make their money back, then I'm no longer a cost. I'm just, I pay for myself basically. So I would say choose your clients just as much as they would choose you, right? So if you know that in the restaurant business, you can have them on a retainer for $1,500 or $2,500 per month, but that retainer is going to end 2-3 months from now when they don't really see the value in what you're doing, then you're just going to, waste all that time and you're going to invest all that energy for nothing, right? So pick people that are profitable enough to be able to sustain your services and your fees, and you can add a lot of value to.
Yeah. Okay. So, DJ Skid said, "What is a decent price to do mark?" Oh no,
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Are you still doing Huh?
No, because there was a little flat.
I was like, not that one. Are you still doing business through Turo? Anything you can share on that experience? Was it worth it?
Yeah. So I'm actually not doing Turo anymore. The reason being is because once my business started to grow, I no longer had the ability to be able to just take the car to the airport, Uber back, go get it washed, go do this, especially since I started traveling a lot more, right? For me, my personal experience, it was smooth. There are some difficult things too where you got to consider to where, if a car gets scratched or if a car, needs to get serviced or something happens to it, you're still responsible for the note. So I would say that if you don't already have a business or you're making enough income to where you can take a hit from a month to 3 months of that car being down and you're able to cover that car note, I would say not to do it, because then you're going to put yourself in a tough situation. But for me, I had the G-Wagon and my M4. The G-Wagon was always rented, right? Because it was a luxury vehicle, but that still fit a family, right? So whenever people would fly into San Diego, either they were coming in on a private plane or they were just coming in straight to San Diego as a family, and they were spending a week here and they would rent the car for a week. So that car would pay for itself and the M4. So in that regard, it was a great car. I never had anything, I didn't have a bad experience with that. But I will say, if, there are those times where there's no bookings and, something might happen to the car, or you might have to get a service, or maybe you got into an accident, you still have to consider the downtime of do you have the money to be able to pay for repairs or 2-3 months
that it's not being rented,
that on the time that it's not rented. So that'd be definitely something to consider for sure.
Okay. And then how will I define success after the first year of your business? How will I define success after the first year of your business?
I mean, I think it's subjective, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, are you profitable? And also too, like, actually, that's actually a really bad example, because I know I wasn't profitable for like the first 2, even 3 years of my business, because I was just reinvesting back into it. I was barely, obviously paying my expenses, being able to live, but it wasn't like, well, I'm making all this extra profit, right? What I would say is, if you have a consistent influx of business, you build solid relationships with clients, and also too, you've encouraged those clients that you've done a good job for in order for them to be able to give you referrals. But it really varies, right? For your standards can be completely different than mine, when it comes to that aspect.
Okay.
Where do you find a great mentor? For me personally, I look at, I'll watch people's Instagram accounts, and I'll see what they post, the education and the free game that they give, and then I'll see if they have like a mentorship or a coaching or a membership, and And then from there, I'll even go onto YouTube to see if they have longer format content, right? To where I can consume more of their education. And not when I've consumed enough, now I'm like, okay, how do I implement this? Now that's when I go and pay this person. Like, okay, I've learned all this, but how do I implement it, right? So there's a lot of people, but 3 things to consider is how long they've been doing it, is who is following them is a huge deal, because if they're followed by other industry professionals and experts, that means that they must be good in order for them to be in that environment. And then 3 would be the testimonials that past students or clients say about them. That's actually a really big deal, and that's a easiest way for you to know what you're going to receive before you invest into that person or mentor.
Yeah. Gary kind of trying to get a question for you guys. If I start investing,
Somebody said, do you have enough money to pay rent? Of course.
do you guys have enough money to pay rent? Oh, Nicholas.
If I start investing, then what are some
Cindy.
questions that I should ask myself? I mean, investing into what? I think that's, you should add investing into what, because for the most part, for example, like let's say normally when people don't have a business, whenever they start talking about investing, is they start talking about stocks, right? And this is the same thing that I would tell Anita is like, why would I put, let's say, $10,000 into a stock that I can have X amount of shares, and even if it peaks or whatever, even if it has 100%, ROI, I'm only going to make $10,000 or whatever, right? Like that's not valuable enough for me. So I'm trying to get into something that is going to be, at an early stage to where I have a long way to write it out. But for me, like, honestly, like I consider investing into my business, right? Like, and I always have this conversation of like, people are always talking about, oh, I want to own a house. I want to do real estate. I want to do that. I'm like, why would I do that? I want to put every single amount of money that I can into my business so that I'm able to have 6-figure months, so that I'm able to have $1 million months, right? Because no property is going to get me to that unless I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, in order for me to be able to positively cash flow that amount of money per month, right? So your investing can also be opening up a business and being committed and investing into that business so that it gives you a bigger return on your investment, right? So
Very true. Cindy, hi Anita, who did you do your course with? So I actually went to the Browse Academy. Do I recommend it? No, you guys. When I first started, like I said, I had no idea about microblading. I did not, obviously, I didn't invest my time into finding a good mentor. I just went with her because I liked her work. And I did not look at the testimonials. I just saw that she did courses, so I went with her. Her work is amazing. She does beautiful work, but the course I do not recommend. I didn't feel like I got my money's worth. I was very lucky that I had the artistic, so when you do microblading, when you do brows, you really have to have an eye for things, right? So I think what really helped me was that I was a makeup artist for 7 years. I kind of had an eye for it, like for placement, all of that. So that helped me, but I did not get the experience I wish I would have. And looking back now, I'm like, man, like I wish I could have, really taken the time to find somebody that could have given me that what I was looking for, because I would have probably been a lot more successful. I mean, I'm not saying that I was very lucky and I was very blessed that I was able to build my business from like the first few months, but once again, I also do have a bigger following, so I can see how because a lot of the girls that I went with, none of them, I mean, it was a total of 12 of us and none of them committed to it. A lot of them quit, and that was because if you don't have a following, then it's harder for you to get clients, put yourself out there. It takes more time.
I'm gonna add on to that, right? Because I think that's the biggest reason why people don't start a business, right? Because they're like, oh, I don't have a following, or that person only became successful because they have a following. Like I was already doing good without even having 10,000 followers, right? But that's because people place so much attention and so much focus onto social media aspect of it, right? Well, obviously we'll go into that aspect and how to be better on it, but when you're running a business, it's not just online. Like you have to do the physical work too. If you have a, let's say, a merch business or whatever, like you have to go to pop-ups, you have to go to events where you can physically, people can walk by and see your product and do all that, right? For the most part, people will start a business and just want everything to sell online. Like that's not always going to be the case for everybody. So as much as you want to build a business off of social media, also understand that it's just as important to build it off of it, right? Because if one day social media does shuts down your account or whatever, like how are you going to run a business if you've never had the physical aspect of it, right? And that's just on that perspective, because there, it doesn't matter your following size. It's just how hard you're willing to work to get the name out of your business out there and start making people aware of it, right? Now, on the social media aspect of it, most times people make the business account, they post a couple pictures of their product or their service or whatever, and then they think that they should get clients and they don't, and then social media doesn't work, or I must be doing something wrong, or this and that. Like, well, yeah, you are kind of doing something wrong because you're going in with the expectation of thinking that just because you started a business that money should just come in. It doesn't happen that way, right? And also too, like, people are always, oh, well, I don't know what content to create, I don't know what to. Perfect, you have the answer right there. Like, you don't know how to create it, go on YouTube, go and learn how to create content. You see somebody's video that you like, that got your attention, that's in the same industry as you, create, figure out how they did it, why they did it, analyze the video, and then you go and you make your own version, and now do that repeatedly, consistently over time, to where you get comfortable being in front of the camera, to where you get comfortable creating content, and then compound it over time. That's how you get better. It's like, I didn't get good at creating content, just by doing it, for 30 days. Like, it took years in order for me to be able to do it. And I had the commitment to write it out for the entirety of that time to make it to where it's at now, right? But again, take priority in terms of building offline as much as you do online, right? Because it's both.
When you pay a mentor, are they charging by session or monthly, or how many times per week do you meet with your mentor?
Somebody said Anita. Oh, no, I mean, you already did that one, right?
Yeah.
It depends. Like, a lot of people structure it different, right? Some mentors, like, for example, I paid this guy to teach me how to create better marketing material. And that's, like, again, right, this is me. Like, I'm good at creating content, but I'm always willing to get better, right? That's a key thing to always have in business. Even though you're good at something, there's always a way to make it better, faster, and more efficient. So always take that in mind. So anyway, so I paid this guy $6,500, and it was for a 90-day coaching program. So that means that every 2 weeks, we'll do like a Zoom call, and he'll be able to analyze my content, analyze my ads on TikTok, etc. That's kind of how that was broken down. There's some mentorships that are like $10,000 for the year. So you jump on a Zoom call with that mentor every single week. There's some mentorships that are 25, 50,000. You guys meet up every so and so. It varies,
It really
right?
depends.
So there's like categories. There's like, basic stuff that's like membership level. It will range you anywhere between 67 to like 97. That's where they package all the information and you go and you learn it on your own. Then they'll have like a 297 where it's something a little bit more in detail. And they have like a 997, which is like, I mean, that could be a course too. Some people charge $1,000 for the course, so you get access to it lifetime, right? Then you have the 5,000s, the 10,000s, but it all varies. And the person that's creating that coaching program is going to structure it however they see fit based on that business model. Like, for example, Anita did the brow course. That was what, like a 3-day, 4-day?
It's 3 days.
Yeah, so that was like a 3-day for X amount of money, right? So it varies. You should focus on what, like, if you feel like you need more than what's available, then you should pick the mentor based on that. Pick the mentor that fits more of like your style of learning and how much attention you need.
Yeah.
So that you're able to make that decision.
Yep. And also too, like also to go into what you need help with or what you feel like I think that's going to help you find a mentor too. Like if you want to focus on one specific thing that you feel like you're lacking, find a mentor that, specifically goes more into detail with that.
I like that. And then also too, like, you know, we as small business owners, for the most part, we are fearful of investing money into marketing, right? And that's one of the things that keeps us a small business, is because we don't commit, to investing money to running ads and, creating content and just getting our brand out there a little bit more. Whether it's a pop-up and that pop-up costs you $300 to be a vendor, $500 to be a vendor, $1,000 to be a vendor, like you don't invest into that. And those are things that you should be doing, right? Whether it's off of the platform or even on social media, it's like, if I have $1,000 extra this month, let me put that $1,000 into running ads. Let me get more people to know who I am and what my brand does, right? And test it, right? You're not going to get better by not utilizing that money. It's better to utilize that money. Plus, also, it's a business expense at the end of the year. So, but you're creating more awareness for your business, and you're getting comfortable with, basically investing money back into your business. And for the most part, people are good at taking money from the business, but not, investing money into the business after they've achieved some sort of profit, or, now they're able to pay expenses, build a team, have employees, etc. So always be investing back into your business.
Mm-hmm. Leslie, Anita, I want to take your brow course. I'm from Chicago, thinking about flying out there. So Leslie, I am still not I don't know. I think a lot of people based on the last reel that I did that went viral, a lot of people thought that I was selling a course or doing a course.
Which now we know to utilize that video to run it as an ad to get people to sign up for her course.
Yeah, so I'm actually not offering any courses as of now. That's definitely something I do want to do in the future. That's definitely.
But if you are committed to it, just send her a DM, and then she'll basically give you the whole breakdown of when she's gonna launch it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely one of my goals. I've always envisioned myself being a teacher, but that's one of my goals, and I'm gonna do it. So just stay tuned, because I'm working on that.
See, even this right here was a business lesson, because a lot of the times, like when we have opportunities, success loves speed, right? And you always got to do things with a sense of urgency. Even though she might not have it now, but if somebody is reaching out to you for a specific thing, be like, hey, you know what? Like, I don't currently have it available, but let me get your information. So when I do, you're going to be the first person that I reach out to, because that's money waiting for you, right? A lot of times, whether it's, Anita or somebody else or even myself, when people say, hey, like I'm willing to give you money, but you might not yet have that offer, you can still go and create that offer, and then you monetize off of it, right? So that's how you learn how to monetize, from doing the same thing in four different formats, which is something that I learned, from one of my clients and my mentor, him 500. He basically talks about, like, in anything that you do, always figure out how you can make money from it 4 times, right? So for example, I'll give you guys a breakdown. I'm a content creator, right? I make money from YouTube, from brand deals, doing it as a service for other people. I'm dropping a course, which is going to be a membership. And I'm also doing one-on-one Zoom calls for 30 minutes for like $200, right? So I have 5 different streams of income from the same business, right? A lot of times people, when they hear, oh, you should have 4 to 5 different streams of income because millionaires have them. Yes, but they're not having 5 different streams of income from so many different businesses, because you can only, commit and invest so much time into a business. If running one business to making it extremely successful is already hard, like what makes you think that doing that, you're spreading yourself across 5 different businesses is going to be any easier? So that's definitely something to consider.
I love that. DJ Skid said, I appreciate it, brother. It's my first account. I'm currently doing $2K for scheduling posts content, about 15 pictures, 10 short videos. I want to find a bigger account to get a better price.
Yeah, honestly, like that's really awesome, bro. When I first started, my first pricing was $1,500, and I was doing way more than that. Remember? Because I was so scared. I didn't know how to price. I didn't know what to say. My first client was a real estate client, and I quoted him $1,500, and it was basically unlimited content. I would post his content. I would come up with captions. and it was a lot, right? Until
Well,
I
at the
started.
time too, I feel like you were working at a Twigs bakery, so
Yeah.
1,500 was literally how much you were getting
Well,
paid
it
for
wasn't
like
that I was
almost.
working at. I was already working at the at the mortgage company.
Oh yeah, you were doing
Yeah.
your
It
internship
was
there.
more of like, even though I was new to all this, right? I was new to entrepreneurship, so I didn't know how to charge. I wasn't comfortable charging. I didn't know how to package it and what was like good or bad, right? But I basically had gone on YouTube and I was like, oh, on average people were charging 1,500 for whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna charge 1,500 and then I'll go from there. I was like, worst case scenario, like he'll say no, or
Yeah.
he'll tell me, okay, I only have 1,000. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll take the 1,000, right? Um, but long story short, I was like, all right, 1,500, and that's kind of how I started. And then from there, I started doing a good job for him, so he started referring me to other people. And then within the first year, I think I had like 5 or 6 clients, just from that one person. But yeah, I would say whenever you're gonna start building up, bigger packages, really structure down your value, and have a really good understanding of why it is that you're pricing it that way. Because even if you do a lot less content or a lot less deliverables, as long as you're able to effectively communicate to the person that you're servicing of like, hey, the reason why we're doing it this way is because of this. And they'll be like, ah, okay, that makes sense. There has to be logic and a game plan as to why you do certain things. So, I mean, I know people that are charging, maybe the same amount as I am and doing less deliverables, but they have a higher production time, which means that they spend a lot more time on the editing, they spend a lot more time on the shooting, they spend a lot more time on all this other stuff, right? For me, it's, run and gun. I'll give you 30 to 90 videos of content per month, depending on your packaging, on your structuring. But for me, it's like I go shoot the content, I pick out the parts that I need, send that off to my team. My team takes care of the editing, the color grading, the adding the captions. Then I just revise it and then I go from there, right? So I've created my system to where now that's efficient for me, and that continuously lands me, repetitive clients. So I would say fine tune your packaging, and then pick your client better. If you know that within the restaurant industry you can only go between 1,500 to like 2,000 before you really start getting that friction, go after clients that do real estate, because again, all they need is just one deal in order for them to get anywhere between 15 to like $20,000 commission check. So you're easily sustainable. Lawyers is another good one. Med spas is another good one. Um, what's called high ticket coaches, um, entrepreneurs as well. Uh, like those type of niches are really good for higher ticket, anywhere between 6,500 all the way to like 10,000, 15, $20,000 per month.
Daniela's asking, Jose, I did a mentorship and I feel ready to start, but I'm afraid of failing because I'm on my own. I have no one to back me up. Any advice on that? Did you ever feel that way when you started?
Man, I feel like that every day. You know what I mean? There's always that what if, like, now, one of my goals in my life was to just, make 10K per month, because coming from where we come from, like if you make 10K per month, like you've made it. Now, my expenses per month just to run my business and my team is anywhere between like 11 to like 12,000 per month, right? And so it's always that like, damn, like I gotta be on top of my shit, because if I don't, like, a client can leave or this can happen, and then I'm gonna have to restructure. And there's a lot of things that I've obviously, as you continue to get bigger and bigger, they're always gonna be there. So you have to embrace that and see it as in like that feeling of like, hey, I'm scared to fail. That's also my motivation to continue to go forward. Because if I'm scared to fail and then I allow it to take over, I'm gonna fail. It's a guaranteed failure, right? But if I get the same pressure and that scared feeling, but I use that as like my driving vehicle so that I always keep pressing forward, then I can only get better and I can only get more clients because I'm consistently moving forward. So
You'll find a way.
you'll find a way, or you'll make a way. There's
Exactly.
yeah, one of my mentors and my clients' friends, he says, it'll work because it has to work, or it has to work, right? Give yourself
Yeah.
no other option of like, if I'm gonna go all in into this, and especially not having any backing, all in, like
You
commit
have
to that
to
shit,
make it
all
work.
in. That's gonna give you enough pressure to be like, if it's late at night and I'm tired, I gotta make this shit work. I'm gonna be
'Cause-
up till late. I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna make it happen because there's no other way. There's no other solution. It all depends on you. So embrace that pressure and embrace that, stress.
um, what I get from it always makes me so nervous.
What I get from my employer always makes me so nervous. My medical benefits, retirement plan, advice. Yeah, so I mean, think about it this way, right? Perfect example. What we literally just went through for these last 2 years, right? So many people lost their jobs. So many people were let go. Those benefits, as much as they're beneficial to you right now, they can literally be gone, you know, in a year from now. God forbid something was to happen that happened similar to these last couple of years, right? So there's nothing ever that's secure. I would argue that starting a business is your best way to be your own medical insurance. It's the best way for you to be your own life insurance, to be your own, security line of having that, right? Because you're the only one that's in control of how much you make and how much you earn. So I would switch that mindset and reframe it and understand that with business you can have that and much more for sure.
I love that, babe. Jaylene said, I've been trying 10 years and I'm not giving up. It's definitely a learning process. Everyone's process is different too. I have babies and I am a single mom, so I can only put so much time.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I will say, like, obviously you being a mom, and I had these conversations with Anita too as well, is like create a system. Because for the most part, here's where entrepreneurs make mistakes, and myself included, and it has nothing to do with you being a mom, right? But I'm going to paint a picture as if that was the case. When you're doing a business, you can't not have systems in place that continue running the business while you're checked out, right? And the reason why I say that is because, like, let's say right now and today, you're focused heavy on your business, you're committed, you're reaching out to people, and then tomorrow the full day you're a mom, and then now your business, you feel like you're starting over every single time. So every single day or every other day, you feel like you're having to start over, or you don't have a clear understanding of where you're going, right? So I would say put a game plan in place of like, okay, within this month, what do I need to get done? I'll write that down. What things, how much time do I need to put into this so that I can commit to making sure that that happens by the end of the month? And then from there, build your life around that, right? And it's going to suck, right? For the first couple of months, maybe even years of, obviously being a mom, but it's really, life is really what you want out of it, right? If you want to be a mom while, I don't want to, like, while coasting and letting your business just kind of be what it is, then that's what you'll receive, right? It's nothing wrong with it, but just understand that that's what's going to be your result. But if you really want to build a business, like, you're going to commit to it, like, really, really hard, right? And I think that's also where having a partner really comes into play. I think Anita, has always given me that opportunity to be able to fully commit and grow and know that my kids are taken care of, know that the house is taken care of. And trust me, like, I love my kids. I love spending time with them. And she'll be the first person to tell you that there's not a day in my mind where I'm not thinking like, man, like, is this worth it? Like, is taking time away from my kids, should I be doing this? And then she was like, babe, like, the kids are good. Like, they're happy, they're playing, they're running around. Like, they love you. Like, they know that when you're here, like, you're with them, you play with them. Like, and that just kind of gives me that sense of like, okay, let me keep working. You know what I mean? Because we all have those times. So it's important to have somebody in your corner that can remind you of, hey, it's okay. Like, go and hunt. Go and do what you got to do. It's super important,
Really important.
She said, well, yes, that's exactly the emotion. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah.
Necessary instinct. Okay. What vlogging camera do you guys recommend? So we use the Sony Z. That he literally just got that phone.
This right here.
That actually, I'll give it like, it records beautiful, and the quality.
Trust me when I say, like, the iPhones are gonna be the next vlogging camera, and the reason why I say that, I mean, they already are for the most part, right? But like, now you can shoot in log profile, which is the higher picture quality that you can get even off of a camera. Obviously, there's levels to the game. The more expensive the camera is, the better the quality. But all you really need is just this, and it's in your pocket. It's always there with you. If you're gonna maybe do videos where you're talking and you want to get better audio, then maybe you can get like the DJI. ¿Me pasas, Chapis? Oh, sorry. I'll go get it.
You guys, I'm wearing this shirt, and it's like
It's so tight.
It's off the shoulder, but
Yeah.
it's leather, so it's like I can't extend my arms. I'm
So
like,
there's this thing. It's a DJI microphones, and these basically plug into the bottom of your phone. So
they're
whether
so
you have
clutch.
the previous iPhone or the newest one, they'll plug into your phone, and you can just shoot content directly off of your phone. It's
Yeah.
super freaking clutch. And then you just download the app CapCut, and you can edit directly from your phone. Like this right here is a game changer. So this is what's the newest one?
The 15.
There's a 15 Pro Max. It's
The pictures are so good.
yeah, it's like $1,200. But if you had the previous model, you can trade it in, and I think they give you up to like 800 or $1,000 credit.
I'm
So
gonna
it comes
trade
out
in
to like
mine.
$200, right?
I'm gonna trade in mine, baby.
Huh?
I'm gonna trade mine in.
You just got that one. But yeah, I would say definitely that. But if you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do a phone. I want to be bougie, and I want a camera. I would say the Sony CV1 is a great camera.
The G7X
The
too.
G7X was
We
an
love
amazing
that
camera
one.
too, because it has a little flip screen, so you look up. Audio sounds pretty decent.
I love the Sony ZV-1.
Yeah.
It's really, I love the quality. It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good quality.
But yeah, those two.
But yeah, again, this, if you have the previous phone, you can trade it in, and it'll only cost you like $200. Or if you want to be fancy, the CV1 is anywhere between what, like $800, right?
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
it was
$800. Let's say with the little tripod, you're talking maybe like $875.
I mean, yeah. And you can get it off too, like on OfferUp.
Yeah.
You know, you might be able to just make sure you check it before, because sometimes people be selling stuff that don't work. So make sure you try it out
Yeah.
before you buy it.
100%.
What content calendar software would you recommend?
Where's that one at?
All the way at the top.
What content calendar software? For internal, for your team, or for your clients? But I think I'm dumb, right? Well, not dumb. I'm a genius.
I'm like, no, you're not dumb.
But because also too, that's something very important. Like never jokingly say things that diminish who you are and your character, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between jokes and reality. So pay attention to that.
I know that.
So Notion is a free platform, and you can customize it like crazy. So check out Notion. Notion is a beautiful platform. I'm actually just transitioning over to it. That's why I hired out my assistant, so that she keeps us everything in order, because I have 3 editors, myself, and then an assistant. So I want everything to be smooth in there, where everything is visually, whether it's for us or for the client, and it's free. So I was paying like $150 for another software called Asana, and it was not it. So yeah.
Jennifer asked, Jose and Anita, I have a question. Part of my job is to hire people out of the country. This is new for me. Work from home. I work from home. How would you use social media to find employees in a different country?
That's actually so for that specific one, I would go on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is going to give you a better quality of outsourcing people.
That's true.
But it also depends on what you're trying to find remote jobs for. So there's 2 websites that I would use depending on what you want to, where you're trying to outsource from. But my favorite one would be Upwork. Upwork is going to give you remote workers from any part of the world, and you can pick and choose from where. It will show you their rates. Obviously, you can negotiate if you want to hire them full time, whatever the case might be. But Upwork is a beautiful
That's
one.
where you got Gabby.
Yeah,
right?
that's where I found Gabby, my assistant, on Upwork. And again, you can find anywhere from U.S., from Europe, from Mexico,
Anywhere.
from anywhere in the world. That's how you do it, right?
How we stack up against competitors. Who is our target audience?
Wait, where's it at?
Egna?
She said, how we stack up against competitors. Who is our target? Honestly, like if you're thinking already about the competition, you already lost. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you have to focus. You like we had this talk the other day. It's like nobody can be you, and that's also your superpower, right? There's nobody that can be like you, nobody that can talk like you, nobody that can look like you, right? So I would say focus on your skill sets and how do you become better, instead of looking at the competition. Because if you're always
going to be everywhere.
yeah, if you're looking at the competition, your best move is depending on the move that they make next, right? Instead of you being the person that makes that move.
It's like this meme, not a meme, but I had seen something on Instagram where it was saying like, there's an aisle full of bread. There's so many types of
Yeah,
bread,
that's
you know,
true.
and yet people are still making bread, yet people are still selling.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
literally the same thing. There's going to be so many, but you're going to have your audience that's going to pick you for
Who you are.
Yeah, every bread has a different taste, different ingredients. So it just really depends on your clients.
And then she also said, who is our target audience? Well, I mean, I don't know what industry you're in, so I wouldn't be able to help. But if you tell me your industry, then I'll be able to help.
Brittany, Anita, you're so beautiful, girl. Thank you.
What iPhone? This one is the 15 Pro Max.
I have,
but she has a 14.
The 14,
Pro.
And it's really good too.
It's really good.
I love the quality on it. This is
I had the 12 for the longest.
Yeah.
Right? I had the 12 for the longest. And then I saw hers and the quality. I was like, oh no, I'm for sure upgrading. And then when I was gonna get it, I went to the iPhone store and the guy was like, hey, why don't you just wait till
the 15?
Till the 15 comes out? It's about to come out in a couple of months. I'm like,
it's literally like a month.
Yeah.
Later.
So I waited and I got it.
Yeah, no, right now he took some photos of me on the balcony and I was like, wow,
they look crazy.
That looks like professional camera. So
literally, it's
if
crazy.
you want to get a phone and you really want to invest in like the quality, then the 15.
Yeah.
It's definitely amazing. Love watching you guys. Happy Halloween. Do you guys feel that your love grew this time apart? Yeah, I mean, I feel like the love has always been there. I think what really grew was our connection, for sure. Right? Or how do you feel?
Yeah, I think I mean, for the most part, it's like what we have right now is what I wanted us to be before, right? Mm-hmm. But she just wasn't in the mental space to be what she is now, right? And like the love has always been there. Like it's never like gone away. Even through the time that we were off, like I've always known that I loved her. You know what I mean? Like that has never changed. But it was more on just like the timing of things, right? And her and I were having this conversation the other day where it's like, maybe this really did need to happen in order for us to be able to be on the same wavelength and mindset, so that now we can truly build together as a family, right? So I would say, that's
our love. I think the love has always been there.
And also too, like I think one of the parts that I think for the most part people miss is that love evolves. You know what I mean? Like when we first started dating, it was that like honeymoon phase of like, I just want to be together and like want to hug you and smell you and everything, right?
Yeah, ando oliendo los pedos, guys.
But it evolves into more of like, hey, you know what? Like I want to build with her. I want to, be the best versions of ourselves together, so that we're able to have all these amazing stories to tell our kids, see our kids grow up, be able to, achieve all of our dreams and know that, she was with me from the bottom, and we're going to be able to have these conversations. It's going to be more meaningful and a lot more, exciting than just achieving it on your own. So I think now that we're on that same page, it's a beautiful thing. And I would say that I'm grateful for the way that things went and that things happened, even though it was painful and it was hard, but I wouldn't change it, to be honest.
It was a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen, but there's always a bigger purpose. And I feel like God has always a bigger game plan for you. You just have to trust it. And like he said, it's painful at times, but we're in a whole lot better place, like both of us mentally. And just in every aspect of it, I think we're both, and that obviously has the connection a lot better. I think we connect better in many different ways, whether it's in our relationship, our love, like the business, the family aspect of it. It's so beautiful, you guys, when I tell you find the right person, that you're able to be on the same page. Because I was just telling him, I'm like, ever since we got back together, we have not had one argument or like
issue or friction.
Yeah. We have a disagreement, nothing. Like it is insane.
Gracias a Dios.
Gracias a Dios, yeah. But it's amazing what being on the page, on the same page. being on the same, I was
Being on
like,
the
I'm
page.
missing a word. Being on the same page does, you know, so it's really important you find a partner who has the same values, same morals, same goals, same traditions, not
Yeah.
traditions, but like same beliefs, you
Hmm.
know, because it's just ultimately gonna
Yeah, and I feel
tie
like we
everything down.
discovered another version of ourselves
We
too,
did.
because when we really started understanding like gender roles and everything, like I was like, oh shit, like this is something that
Gender
we never
roles,
addressed or even knew that we had
yes.
the same uh, idea of it. Or
And when you know your role, it's crazy what a beautiful, when you come together, what beautiful thing comes out of it.
yeah,
It's insane because you both know what you're doing, you know, what your role is and how all of that combined together. It's
hmm,
just it's beautiful, you guys. I always tell them like I'm so grateful and so blessed that God put you in my life
hmm,
because it's just beautiful. Like I can't even explain it. Like sometimes I'm like, it feels like it's too good to be
yeah,
true.
it's
Like
crazy.
this is something I've always envisioned to have as a partner, you know.
Yeah, but then
But
again, our beginning was very rough. You
oh
know, we'd
yeah,
always argue, break up,
especially
very
because
toxic.
like our culture too. You
Hmm.
know,
And we were
we didn't know
immature. We were
we're mature.
16, 17.
But
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that are 20, 30s and are still there. I think it's
yeah,
just the breaking that barrier. You know, those generational barriers and
yeah.
really growing and willing to have that self awareness and personal development. Whew,
So
that was
yeah,
good.
thank you. I did not realize.
Those sides were
Actually, you know
awesome.
what? Let's backtrace to that, and I want to touch on that, but like on the business side of things, right? Because even in situations like that, when it comes to like business, you're always gonna have those doubts and like those like
What are we
challenging
talking
moments,
about?
like like the overcoming of obstacles, right?
Mm,
And all that, right? That was the question.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you guys feel like you grew this time apart? Oh, like, but we were talking about like challenges and all that, and you and I were just literally having these conversations of like, there's gonna be certain times in your business where you're like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? Should I invest this money? Should I, you know, hire an employee or should I not? Like, just do it, because by you doing it, it's gonna like bless you even more, right? I was telling her, like the more that I'm willing to get to pour more into myself and into my business, the more that God blesses me, right?
Mm.
And I'm gonna share this like for informational purposes. But when I committed to hiring my assistant, I was like, cool, that's another investment expense, right? And then boom, I get two clients, one for 10,000 and then a consulting one for 1,500, right? And then from there, like I wanted to do PR, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the PR, and then you know what I mean. So it's gonna always open up new doors. Like God is gonna give you what you're willing to, um, how would I say it? Like God is gonna as
What
long
you allow
yeah,
him
what
to
you
give
allow
you.
him to give you, he's gonna give you, but you have to be ready for it, right? If maybe your challenge is, you know, remaining faithful during, you know, a challenging situation or a challenging season, or if you're scared of letting go of money, or if you're scared of taking risks, the faster you take the risks, the faster you invest the money, the faster that you say certain things, God is going to bless you even more, right? Because you're acting based on faith, you know, and
Mm.
not by fear, right? And because of that, He's going to continue to bless you. So when you are going through those seasons of whether you don't know if you got to invest into a coaching or a mentorship, or you got to invest money to buying better equipment to be able to be more efficient for your business, or software or tools, do it,
Do
because I
it.
promise you it's going to open up doors, because you're being faithful to God and He's always going to deliver. Like, it's a hard thing to explain, but I promise you guys, like the more faithful that you are and the more that you commit to seeing things through, whether it's your business, whether it's your family, whether it's with anything, I promise you, like He's going to deliver to you tenfold, because that means you're ready to accept the blessings that God already has for you, but you just weren't ready for. So,
Hmm. Also,
yeah.
I want to add on to that, like following your gut, you guys. So I was listening to Rob Dial. He's a mentor, and he was talking about, I was listening to one of his episodes where he was talking about how we have a second brain, which is your gut,
Mm.
and it's called an ENS brain. But basically, they call it a brain because there's so many neurons down in our gut. But he was saying, like, whenever you have to make a decision, whether it's life changing or it's comes down to like, should I wear that blue shirt, right? He says always take 60 breaths, in through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and ask yourself like a question, like let's say, should I start this business? Take 60 breaths in. Whatever the first answer comes out of your mouth, that's what you go for. Because we tend to, obviously, our mind tends to talk us out of it. And it's your amygdala. So your amygdala kind of protects you. It's your, the front cortex of your brain. It protects you. It wants to, it starts instilling all these fears and doubts, and we start to listen to what our brain says, our thoughts. So he was saying, like, whenever you have a decision that you want to make, always ask yourself that, and breathe, and the first answer that comes up, you do it. And then within seconds, it's crazy how your brain starts telling you, like, oh no, but you shouldn't post this video because this and that, like, and you start doubting yourself. And that's why a lot of people tend to back away from whatever it is that they wanted to do. So it's and ever since that, I was like, oh my God, because I'm a very a person who overthinks things, and I'm always like, but then if I do this, that, it starts trickling down all these things, and then I talk myself out of it. So I'm like, okay, that is such a good way to see it, and it's true. When you do follow your gut, you're like, I should have known. So
like, I should have done this faster.
I should have done it. I knew I should have done it. It's just like that brain in you, So good thing to know, you guys. Next time, the first thing that comes out, you do it. It's in there for a reason.
Facts. Thank you. I did not realize that those sites were also available in different countries. Yep.
Those are pretty cool. Love the bread analogy. You guys are awesome. Anita's happiness reflects through my screen when I watch her videos. Her inner beauty reflects. Jose, I know you're on cloud 9 and I'm here for it. Oh, thank you, Jennifer.
Appreciate it.
I know it is. I've been in my marriage for 15 years and I understand. My husband allows me to be in my feminine energy. Sheesh. That's beautiful. That's like beautiful when thing. Your husband allows you to be. I wish that for
everybody.
Yeah, literally. It's just a beautiful thing.
El que no arriesga no gana.
Exactly.
Facts. You both are inspiring. I have 3 kids, single mom. I'm watching you both grow together. It gives me faith. Let's go.
Let's go, yes.
Flowers. Could we talk about our skills and talents? Some of us don't want to be entrepreneurial, so we lean towards corporate positions, but they don't want to pay for our worth. What could we do more as professionals to help us earn more money? Straight out the door, building
a portfolio,
a more
detailed,
organized resume. Yeah, so that's actually
a really good question.
That's actually Roxy. A really far question. Because I'm not the type of person that I feel like everybody should be an entrepreneur, because this shit is stressful. Like, it's pressure every single day. You're constantly thinking about it 24/7. It's nonstop. You can't check out, right? But I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is, you it's not about building a stronger resume, it's about building stronger results for the company, right? If you're able to, let's say for the current job that you have now, if you're able to go above and beyond for what they currently have you doing, and you're able to either increase their revenue, make their systems a lot more efficient, or just bring enough value to the business where now you're contributing more than what you're getting compensated for, and they don't pay you for it, well, now you can take that. You have the proven track record, you have the results of how you were able to achieve that, and now you can go to be towards a competitor and be like, hey, here's what I'm able to do. I was in this position, but I was actually doing this. Show your genius. That's the biggest thing. Show your genius, because for the most part, anybody can write whatever they want on the resume, but when people hear you speak it with confidence and the way you deliver it and the way you present yourself, they're going to be like, all right, this person is different. It has nothing to do with your resume. It has nothing to do with that. It has the way that you're able to leave people feeling once they're in your presence, right? And also too, like, once you've done a great enough job for your current business and employer, if you're going above and beyond and you're generating them more income, or you're bringing in more value than what you're expected, they're going to want to pay you more, or they should, right? And if they don't, be like, hey, you know what? Here's kind of where I'm at. I feel like I'm doing this. I'm trying to be somebody valuable to the company. I'm putting in a lot more effort. I'm even, taking my time to and the initiative to help us grow as a company. I'm taking ownership in the company. I believe that in my heart, this business is also mine, and therefore my actions are based off of that decision and that choice in my mind. But I do see that, there is no reciprocation, and I would just want to know where we currently stand. I would want to earn this amount of money, and if that's not a possibility, then I would love to explore my options with another company. And now they're gonna be like, oh damn,
Like we're gonna let go of
because if
somebody
it's
so
true,
confident.
they're gonna be like, okay, we either pay this person more money, or we're gonna lose her, right? And so with that mindset, it's like you don't always have to become an entrepreneur. You don't always have to have entrepreneurship appetite. You can still be a killer in the corporate world and climb up the corporate ladder if that's what you decide to do.
Like I don't know if you guys have watched the Cheeto
Yeah, I
movie.
love that movie. Watch that movie.
That movie was just wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like the eagerness to be successful and the eagerness to break that, like, and nobody believed in him but his wife,
Yeah.
like everybody was thinking he was crazy for
Yeah.
wanting to. He was just the janitor,
Yeah.
and he was like, nah, like I can bring more to this company.
Yep.
Like he saw how us as Latinos weren't being what is it, like we weren't being
Like
looked, we
considered.
were considered.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So the fact that he was able to still stay within the company but bring his own pitch, like
And
that,
vision. Yeah.
that's a beautiful movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, I think that was a perfect example of that specific situation.
Yeah.
Someone said, but the memory on the iPhone gets full fast. How do you pass your videos from the iPhone to computer? Do you also use CapCut for YouTube videos? So with this phone, I mean, I think even without this phone, there's these like little adapters that go underneath it that allow you to transfer the videos or your files onto that external so that you don't have your memory fill up fast on your phone. Now with this one, since it's USB-C, you can actually plug in an external hard drive. So anytime you record a video or anything, it'll automatically go into the external hard drive. And then all you have to do is just plug that hard drive to your computer, and you don't have to transfer or anything. It's already in that hard drive.
So you're telling me I'm paying Apple every month?
Well, it depends, right? Because there's also
Oh.
like the iCloud is also important too, because if something was to happen to your phone, and you can't extract the files that are in it from your phone, it's still in the iCloud.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
that's the
I was about to
value
say,
in it.
I'm paying for iCloud.
Yeah, no, that's the value in it.
$10 a month.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, am I gonna
And
be
then
able?
she also said, do you also use CapCut? I don't use CapCut for videos. Anita does for YouTube.
I edit for YouTube.
But I do use CapCut for adding captions to videos and little things like that. I think CapCut is one of the best inventions that has ever
You
occurred
guys,
to content creators these last couple of years.
because let me tell you, I could not edit to save my life. Jose would be like, "Here, learn how to edit so you can help me." I was like, "What?" He would sit there and try to teach me, and I was like,
This was in
"What?"
Premiere, in Premiere
It was-
Pro.
it was really hard. But then he told me about CapCut, and I went in there and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so
Yeah.
easy!" Especially because it has like all these features already built in. You kind of just have to like play around with it. Like it's mind blowing, life changing for sure. It's so
it's
much easier.
It has like the format that it's created. It's like easier to find things. In Premiere Pro, it's like there's so much things because obviously you can do so much in it, right?
Yeah.
But CapCut for the most part solves like a lot of things that would normally be time consuming to do in Premiere Pro. Like CapCut does it like instantly. It's crazy. It's a really good tool.
Oh, look at Jennifer. Roxy, if I may, always sell yourself. I was in corporate possessions for years. Girl, sell yourself. Yes, Jennifer. Yep.
Love you, Twin Family. Love you guys. I love how you guys are such a power couple. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Exactly what I was saying. Make yourself known.
Known to let them know your word, your growth.
Really,
The growth.
Cheeto movie is about that. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I really thought it was like comic. No, like the Cheeto movie is like kind of like
no.
a mini documentary, but like
In a movie.
in a movie.
But it's funny.
But you're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, wow, like that's crazy. That's how it all happened. But yeah, literally that.
It's so inspiring, honestly, and it's beautiful because I was telling him like how it brought up like for the Mexican
Culture.
culture. Like, I feel like that movie really brought us up, you know? Like, I had no idea it was a Mexican guy who invented the hot
Hot
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Like, I was like, wait,
Fritos
what?
#1 worldwide selling.
It's insane, but it feels good and it feels empowering and kind of like, okay, if he was able to do it coming from, you know, being a cholito, like
Yeah.
his
Having a criminal
background,
record, everything.
everything, being able to do it, like being a janitor, come
Yeah.
on, like and just the confidence he had in himself, you
And
know.
also too, like one of the things that I love to say, it's like God is always gonna use like the people that should be the least qualified to really show His glory, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And the reason why I say it is because like me growing up, like I felt worthless, you know, like I lost my brother, he passed away. As soon as my brother passed away, my parents split up. From there, obviously my mom had to take care of me, so we were, you know, living in people's rooms, renting garages, you know, obviously being picked on at school. My dad telling me I wasn't going to be anything, my mom too as well. And it just, I felt like that's just what I was going to be my entire life. And I've always, you know, grown up feeling like I was worthless, that I was just nobody, right? And, you know, God has allowed for me to build into the person that I am, not to highlight myself, but to highlight His glory and what He's capable of, right? Because, you know, He's always going to use the people that are the least qualified or the people that you least expect it from to really show how, you know, how would you say, like,
How great he
how
is.
great He is, how big His glory is, you know what I
And
mean?
even on the Cheetos movie, that was highlighted too. His wife would always.
He was a janitor.
No, but his wife siempre prendía veladoras. You know, she would always pray to God, and it highlighted that, and it showed how, you know, God really pushed him through it.
Yeah.
And look
You're always
how
going to be like,
success.
man, like, how did that person become so successful? How did that so and so? That's God's grace, you know, that's God's glory because He uses,
Testimony.
yeah, He uses the people that are going to be the biggest testimony in His life. So if you're somebody that feels worthless, depressed, anxious, you look a certain way, you sound a certain way, you're this and that, like, commit to it, follow through, and eventually you're going to realize why exactly God put you from that step all the way to where you're at now, because now you're able to impact people from where you started all the way to where you're at now, you know. So I can share my story of what it was like being broke, what it was like going outside of churches and asking for food, what it was like living in garages, what it was like being raised by a single mom, what it was like feeling worthless, what it was like feeling bullied, etc. Now I'm able to impact those people because they might not relate to the person that I am today, but they can relate to that person because in some shape or form they have experienced it as well. And so because of that, now I'm able to connect, you know. So always keep that in mind. Never lose faith. You know, it's super powerful.
That's beautiful. It's true.
DJ Skid said, thank you, Jose. I was struggling trying to figure out a package price. Hopping off soon. How often do you go live? So we go live every Wednesday. At 6:30.
Sometimes 6:40.
Yeah, sometimes 6:40, but
yeah,
we're here
around those times.
So to add on to that, I'm actually going to be dropping a membership. I'm going to be dropping it in November, and that's going to cover everything from like packaging, how to use AI, how to create systems, how to make your workflow more efficient, how to like skill sets that you can basically start incorporating into your business that can allow you to charge more, how to build a team, like everything. So
literally his brain in one.
Yeah, so if you want to take advantage of that, I am offering a 7-day free trial pre-launch. All you have to do is just go on my bio on my Instagram and you'll be able to sign up there, and it's free for 7 days. So you're going to get access to the course at no cost. If you find it valuable, then obviously you can stay. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, you know, I'm in the education business, like obviously helping other content creators, other entrepreneurs do that, and that's one of the biggest things that they struggle. And I personally know my audience, and I know that somebody in my niche hasn't done it, and for the most part the people that do it, they think it's just a money grab, but for me it's bigger than for that. For me, this is my all-in move. This is my Hail Mary, if you will. Like, this is what I've been wanting to do. This is what I feel like I was born to do. So I'm actually pretty excited to be able to drop it. And again, like I said, I got to put my money where my mouth is. I'll give you guys a 7-day free trial. If you find it valuable enough, then you'll stick around. If not, then it's okay, but at least it costs you nothing. So I'm pretty hyped about that. and I'm confident in it too. So, like, cause
Excited
I know
for
how
that.
much it's done for me. I know how much it changed my life. I know so much, so I'm excited to put it up there. I know my worth. I know the value I bring. I have a lot of loyalty with our customers, but it's turned into a lot of jealousy because I'm new and the vets can't keep up. I mean, that's always how it's gonna be. Survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? Like, you always gotta stay hungry, and the people who stop being hungry, then they're gonna, you know, be left behind by somebody like you. So more power to you. Don't let your foot off the gas. Keep doubling down, because at the end of the day, they're not gonna be the ones that are gonna pay your bill. So get to it.
Rosa Rodríguez dijo, hola, nunca comento, pero quería saludarlos desde Esperia, California.
Saludos, Rosa.
Muchas gracias, Rosa.
Bendiciones.
Wow, I had no idea. Never watch TV. I'm only on here because I love your channel, but I stay off
Appreciate
streams.
it.
Oh, that means a lot, Jennifer.
Yeah, that means a
Thank
lot.
you.
Like, we're not TV watchers, and whenever we do watch TV, it's always something that has like a message in it, you know?
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up because we're already way past our our time. But
gotta spend some time with the kids too.
Yeah, we're gonna go spend some time with the kiddos and just unwind. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. It's always so much fun jumping on here, reading all your guys' comments, engaging with you guys, and I hope you guys learn something from it. And we'll be doing these every Wednesday, obviously. Let us know also too, like in the comments,
topics.
Yeah, let us know what we should touch base on. We should do like a Q&A.
Yeah.
Like a Q&A. We'll probably post it on our Instagram. And then just have you guys do Q&As. We'll do something fun too. And then we'll also going to start bringing in guests to, just inspire you guys and motivate.
Talk about their story from different areas, right? Not just influencers, but like also like business owners, moms, you name it, right? So that you guys are able to be exposed to things. Because the biggest thing in life is having awareness. The more awareness you have, the more that you're able to live a more fulfilling life and, just be able to really live the life of your dreams. So even people from different cultures, like I don't want it to just be us, you know what I mean? Like I want different variety, because I've learned so much from the Black community that's like, damn, I wish I would have, my community would have known this, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or we would have been exposed to this.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and also too, like if you're a supporter and you've built yourself from the ground and you have this inspiring story, like let us know too.
Yeah, we'd love to have you guys on too.
We love to have you guys on here because everybody can, like I said, we can learn from each other and just inspire. So if you guys have a story that can benefit somebody, let us know and we might get you guys on here too.
Most definitely. So so some people were talking about like how to deal with like negativity and all that. We did a live video. What was it, like 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Last week was masculinity and
so like 2 weeks ago, if you go back on our channel, like on the live section, you'll be able to see that one. It was like overcoming cultural barriers and
that's the one.
I forget the rest of the title, but it's something around those lines of like overcoming cultural barriers, and that one talks exactly about the question that you're asking.
Negativity. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Let's love you guys, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Oh no, not. I'm thinking we're vlogging. I was like, we'll see you guys in the next live. Bye.